All right, so we are here. It is 8 o'clock on the dot. This is Couch Coach Live. What's going on, Maui? What's up, man?
What's up, man? How you doing?
What's going on?
I'm
Yeah,
good. I'm good.
yeah.
You good?
I'm good, man.
What's wrong?
Chilling. I think I hear a TV in the background, dog.
Oh. Thank you. Turn the TV down just a little bit. My
It's all
bad.
good. But yeah, man. So, man, we here on another Couch Coach Live. We doing a StreamYard, man. We doing this. I'm really loving how this
Yeah,
new
this is
setup
cool.
is, man. I
I
like this.
Did
Yeah.
you watch the last one?
Yes, I
I did
watched it.
too.
It was hilarious.
I
It was
I
hilarious.
I usually don't
Right.
listen to them. You know what I mean? But I was
Me
able. It
neither.
kept popping up. It kept popping up every time I would
Yeah.
go down the time. It would pop up, and I was like, and I catch myself just watching it. So yeah, it's a whole nother dimension. Like,
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, the algorithm on it has been crazy because I think that like when we first when we went off air about 10 o'clock, I think we had like 80 something views, but it skyrocketed to almost 250
wow.
since last week. So I like, man, it's algorithm is really deep with it. It's definitely a huge shout out to the
So when we
analytics.
go,
You
I'm
know,
gonna try some. I think I got
yeah.
a visual. I think I got a visual.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll talk about it afterwards. I think I got a
Cool,
visual
cool.
that can make the background like kind of
Yeah,
slick. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But anyway,
yep, yeah, man.
rough
So
week.
rough week, man. You know, this is gonna be a real heavy couch coach live, man. We're not gonna just shut up and dribble. We're gonna talk. We're gonna talk about the elephant in the room this week.
Yeah.
So if you don't like me to shut up, if you just want me to shut up and dribble, I'm having another show June 9th. We'll talk about
Yeah.
when we find out when the league come back. So
Right.
man, let's talk about the week, man. Just your thoughts, before we get into it. How is your week just in general, man?
I don't know, man. I had some personal things going on, and
Yeah.
I think kind of a few build up that was inside me because I had to put that hard exterior, and then I just was on the road. I was at work, and then I was like, man, let me listen to some Luther. I listened to some Luther Vandross, man. And I just started bawling. So it's like
Yeah,
almost
man.
like a detox of emotion that I need to let out that I hadn't let out. You know what I mean? And then the stuff that happened. And he still had a young man who got shot by the two guys in Georgia.
Yeah.
And then dealing with that. Like I said, and I also had some personal stuff going on, and just the energy was just intense. You know what I mean? And then the people I follow was saying that last week was supposed to be the easiest week. It ain't gonna get no easier than last week. It's gonna get more heavy.
Yeah, man.
And so I did a lot of releasing. You know what I mean? And then we had our show, and
Yeah.
that's about it. It's still dealing with. I did watch the Lance Armstrong Part 1. Wow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it just started making me think of arrogance and narcissistic people. You know what I mean? It made me, and then it goes to what happened over the weekend. I mean, what happened this weekend, and dealing with those people who feel like they have some type of authority or always want to be right, always want to win. You know what I mean? Different opinions and just those people, or you know what I mean? For the simple fact, you were doping, and you have a team, and they're like, oh, he just gonna keep winning. They was like, no, I know he ain't gonna win the third one. Oh, he just gonna keep winning. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, man.
Right.
Man.
It ties into a lot.
Yeah, definitely huge.
And then to see people who feel like you have to be that way to win.
Yeah.
Like you have to be that hard ass type of person to win. You have to be, that's your will to win, is you got to be that much of an alpha male.
Yeah,
to win.
That's
crazy to me. That's crazy to me.
I told you, like we talked about last week, man. That man is a sociopath, man. Like Skip Bayless always said, a sociopath, a straight sociopath. Yeah, man. Definitely huge shout out to Lamar. He said, "What's up, guys?" And definitely huge shout out to my sis Kim. I love you too. Appreciate the love there. And then Lamar chimed in again. So,
what's up?
Man, the week's been okay. Same. I mean, the same old. Just keep on. These months passing by. It's June. Just weird out. Everything is going on this month of June, and time is flying. And then, man, hearing about West Unseld this morning kind of was like, it's one thing, it's another again, where you're like, man, like 2020 for our sports icons, it's just been rough, man. Like it's just so many guys, leaving us this year in the world of sports, guys and girls, leaving us this year. But yeah, man, let's get right into it, man. And it's crazy because we talked about the, George Floyd's death last week, but we talked about it off wax because I think at that time it was the video circulated and this, we didn't have the type of context that we do present day. So man, and we talked about this off wax last week. I think after the show or before the show, but who's to say, whatever. But anyway, man, your thoughts on just what's going on. First of all, let's talk about the death of George Floyd by the pass of the cops. Your thoughts on it?
I didn't watch the video, B. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I didn't watch the video on purpose because I had watched the video quite a few times of the young man being shot. So, I was like, I've seen plenty of videos. I already know this. If he died, then he died. Matter of fact, I had watched a show called Orange New Black, and one of the best characters on there, the same thing happened, where a guy who was he was a CEO and he was nervous. He was the coolest one, but he got nervous because there was a bunch of activity going on, and he had his knee in the girl's back, and she kept saying, "I can't breathe." You know what I mean? And she died, and it hurt him so bad because they didn't charge him anything that he quit and he just left. You know what I mean? And he's mentally messed up. That's just the show though. So I didn't watch the video because I've seen it before. You know what I mean? And I just was hoping for the best. You know how I think. I kind of okay, let me see what's about to come out of this. You know what I mean? And then I sit on Facebook, I look on social media and see how people react. My thing is, I'm a very universal guy. So what hurts me is the people because there's a lot of people that voted for certain people and have certain views and they voice their opinion. I have to respect their opinion because their opinion is how they feel. But it does hurt me because I am Black and that could easily be me. I have plenty of stories from the time I was probably 11 where the police just run up on us. You know what I mean? And we ain't do anything. We might have been just hanging, but we ain't do anything. You know what I mean? Yeah. I have plenty of stories being in Northern Virginia, and I'm just going to a friend's house, and then my big homie come, and then they putting shotguns to our back. I have plenty of stories. You know what I mean? But nah, man, I just sit back and just watching because I already know what's gonna come from it. You know what I mean? People gonna speak. I really didn't think the turn of events was going to happen how it's gone. You know what I mean? From all the protesting and everything. You know what I mean? Yeah. I've seen more. They want to make a lot of negative from it, but I've seen a lot of positive. One of the positive I've seen from the protest is, remember 1992, it used to be 2% of Black people living in Colonial Heights. And it was a landmark positive protest where the police chief in Petersburg actually, and the police department actually helped the protest to go across that bridge, the Martin Luther King Bridge, and then the Colonial Heights also helped guide them. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's beautiful. You know what I mean? There's always been some negativity between both cities, So, I mean, how did you feel, bro? You know what I mean?
It's to a point now where I just feel like we're just immune to it, and it's like how people like this is the shock factor, but it's just I see this play out all the time, and right. All it really is to me is it's a replay. It's a replay of Eric Gardner. It's replay of I can name a handful of people of this situation, and it's just one of those things where it pisses you off because this is still going on in 2020. We're still dealing with this type of situation, and the sad thing about it all is we now have an equalizer, which is technology, where we're able to film this, and that's what's that's, I think, in my personal opinion, that makes it just so disheartening, because like we've known, we got our folks that we know, we've had people that we've known that been just dead on the side of the road and just never knew what the hell happened to them.
Right.
And
well,
now,
I have a question.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No.
I have a question for you. When I got pulled, what was it, North Dakota? When I was following you when we was at work, how did you feel? Because you see me, you know what I'm saying?
Because what I end up, and we'll definitely talk about that now. So when we were in our situation, I was pretty much, you were the pace car. I was driving the company car. So you pretty much, in essence, you were the pace car, the one that counted in essence to protect the car in a sense. Right. So it was crazy because we were getting off the interstate, and then I see that he stopped you. And a part of me was like, all right, I stopped in like the middle of the like the intersection type. We were like in a shopping center or something of that nature. And I thought to myself, I was almost to a point where it's like, okay, what am I going to do here? Like, what do I need to do? Do I need to call somebody first? Right. And my initial inkling, because it literally was like 5 minutes. If I don't see nothing crazy going on, I didn't see you going outside the car, he didn't pull you out the car, then it's like, okay, well, we need to call somebody before I want to take matters in my own hand first for that. But then somebody, I was scared. I'm not gonna front, because you gotta think about it. We were in North Dakota, dog. Like we won't hear where at least, I'm not trying to say like Virginia is like this almighty good, but dude, we were in North Dakota. The chances of something happening there and what we were doing as far as our job and what we were doing and the company that we were at, they looked at us like almost like, who the hell are y'all and why y'all driving this and why in the hell are y'all here? That's how I kind of felt. Yeah.
The thing about, you probably don't know, is I actually know how to articulate myself in situations like that very well. You know what I'm saying? And so
he tried to hit you up too. And I remember
he tried everything he could.
Yeah.
I was the probably coolest dude. He probably was thinking to himself, like, you know what I mean? When he was like, man, he's seen you. Like, that's crazy. He passed me. He parked. He went down the other way. His cars, we could do 90 on this road. Cars going 110, blah, blah, blah. And then I didn't even see him behind me because I literally seen him go the other way. So I'm trying to figure out, how did he come back around? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because remember we were kind of trying to eluding him, because remember how we kept on like kind of switching lanes. In other words, just like, look, we right down the street. Let's just because we was literally destination. Right. Like, man, we were driving.
And he didn't pull you. I was driving a caravan. And you're driving the system, the actual computer car, and the computer car. You know what I mean? I'm driving the caravan, and as soon as I get off the exit, I'm at I make a left turn. I'm in the middle lane, so it's 3 lanes. If you're in the right, you make a right. If you're in the middle lane, if you're in the right lane, you either going straight or you're making a right turn. If you're in the middle lane, you either making a left. I'm sorry, you're making a left or you're going straight. Or if you're in the far left, you're doing a U-turn. So he tried to say I made a legal left turn.
Yeah.
I made him. I sat down. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Matter of fact, you know what we were, and let's thought about it. Man, we was in Montana when it happened.
That was Montana?
Oh, we was in Montana. Matter of fact, because that's when we went to get some eat. Remember, because like, to be honest with you, it was crazy because we was all messed up that whole day. Remember that?
Right.
Because remember, we ended up going to the spot. There was, matter of fact, the other Sean, and we just chilling and doing our thing. And we just, it dampened the whole.
The team split. That's right, because the team had split. So they had made, and even that, like, it's sad. I really wish that we could really break down that experience, because that whole experience to me was America. You had older politics, you had younger politics, you had black, white, you had nerds, you had, you know what I'm saying? You had all these different people.
Microcosm of America.
Yeah, it just seemed like it was America. And then eventually they split our team. You know what I'm saying? And it was crazy to me. Then you had these certain people over here and these people over here. But anyway, I made a left turn. He pulls me and said it was an illegal left turn. Right. And I put that Maui charm on him the best that I could. And I made him explain to me what a legal term about 30 times on purpose. because I wanted him to feel how stupid it sounds. And by he got done, he said, "Bruh, I got pulled when I was young too. I didn't know it was a legal left turn." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm like, "Well, sir, can you tell me again? Because there's about 20 of us, and I want to make sure that my coworkers know not to do this." You know what I mean?
I remember that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Come on, man.
And my thing is too, and I've dealt with the cynicism, asking me these stupid questions, like, do I own the car? And I'm like, you have my title. Like, I own this car. I have this. If it says, and I shouldn't say I say my government name, I don't care. Mm-hmm. If I give you a title and I give you a registration that says Christopher Powell, this is my car. This is my car. And it's like, and they do that to agitate you. And that's a thing where, and that's another thing where it's just like, when you, like, they do that to agitate you. And that thing, to me, now as I get older, it gets more frustrating, because the simple fact that how everything runs, we are taxpayers. Mm-hmm. That our money is in the pot. Me, you, everybody else that pays taxes is in a pot, and they pay for these cops' salaries. Mm-hmm. So in my thing as a citizen, as a law-abiding citizen who works every day, who takes crap, who busts his ass, and I have to, my money is being invested in essence to my demise. And that's where it pisses me off, because at the same token that you're supposed to be an ally. You're supposed to be the one that, like you said, like when we got stopped for that was, what was the point of that? It was pointless. Like,
everybody in that town didn't care. Right. They didn't even care about the car. All the regular people, they didn't care. You know who cared? The police. That whole town. Every time we drove, they didn't even look at us. They looking at the car like, what illegal stuff these police are doing in this town?
Right. And we've been everywhere. We went from pretty much Virginia to Washington State in that car. And we to Waterloo. We was in Waterloo or whatever. We was in Montana. And then this is when the bullshit happened, essentially. And that's what happened. And it's just like, and it was frustrating, because I tried to stay as far away as I could, but have a bird's eye view. Right. Because I'm just like, man.
If you don't mind, I would like to speak on some of our experiences with the police. Is that okay?
Yeah, we can talk about that too. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So like, for me, let me see. I'll give you one that had nothing to do with me. All right. I was back in the day, if a lot of times you guys went through a breakup, people used to go to a place down Shockoe Bottom, it's called Have a Nice Day Cafe. And it was a lot of people would go there, it'd be so packed that if you was going through a breakup or something, you always saw your ex at this place for some reason. So I walk out, and it's like so many, it's always packed. I walk out, I see this girl, little mini skirt. Let's just say her name, like she was white, right? And her boyfriend was there. And her boyfriend is like on the curb, and she's off the curb, and she's just cussing him out. And he just sitting there like, man, just chill out, blah, blah, blah. Police officers used to be on horses back then. You know what I mean? So they go, the cop says, ma'am, could you please get off the curb? So the dude, that's when he stepped on the curb. She stayed on there, and she just kept yelling at him. Bottom line is, he said it 2 more times. She didn't move. The third time, he took her, and she was probably 5'3", 130. The third time, she did not move. He didn't even finish. He picked her up and rammed her head first into the cop car. This is somebody's child. You see what I'm saying? This is somebody's child. And I'm sitting here like, you know what I mean? And I'm a protector. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, you know what I'm saying? What the fuck? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They go that badge right there. You know what I'm saying? What am I supposed to do? Yeah. One of mine, they used to not even, I'd be with my coworkers, and I would I got the tightest pants on. I got the tightest polo shirt on. I'm going to, there used to be a spot we used to go to called Fahrenheit back in the day. Trying to get into Fahrenheit, it was like they would be so picky. You know what I'm saying? I'm with my coworkers. Let everybody else in. My pants tighter than them, they won't let me in. I'm the only black dude. Yeah. You feel me? Now, there was a cop there that used to do me from my store, and he talked to them. They let me in. And there's always that narrative. Same people I go to Fahrenheit with, right?
Yeah.
Was my produce manager and my frozen food clerk. I'm going up Hopkins Road. I had just got my first car. I'm going up Hopkins Road. I'm about to get on Chippenham. He's in an unmarked car. So he decides, what's up, Mike? I see you, man. Shout out to Mike. Mike got 2 black sons. Mike's white. So a lot of these things that's going on is breaking his heart because he's seeing a lot of racist people put stuff on and he's getting in an argument. Shout out to him. So I'm about to make a left to get on Chippenham. By the time I got on the ramp, I had 2 white dudes with me in the car. Like I said, they said, Sean, the cops behind you. I had everything I needed. I didn't have my county sticker, but my aunt that works for Chesterfield said, well, you won't need your county sticker until August. It was July. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I gave him everything. We talked. He get my license. I lived in Hyde Park. And he said, well, what are you doing over here? It's 12 o'clock in the afternoon. What do you mean? What am I doing over here? I'm not allowed to ride around Richmond. I'm not allowed to go any place. You know what I'm saying? What do you mean what I'm doing over here? It's those questions that, of course, will agitate anybody, especially if you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
He took me out the car. I wasn't rude. He literally took me out. He said, come here, man. Why don't you step out? Let me talk to you. Took me and probably walked like, I don't know, maybe 20 feet from my trunk. It's very important for you to get your county sticker, Sean, blah, blah, blah. And I said, man, I just talked to my aunt and I said her name. He said, oh, yeah, I know her. I said, she just told me, man, I don't have to get it till August. You know what I mean? I'm just talking to him, just being real. And some people don't want to do that because they shouldn't have to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when I get into the car, you know, my man Nick and my man Chad, right? You know, they looked at me and they said, dude, why did he take you out the car? And I looked at them, and excuse my language, and I said, are you fucking serious? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This stuff happens all the time. Yep. You know what I mean? All the time, man. Have you ever had any instances or anything like that happen to you?
Well, really, mine's it's crazy, and I hate this. Well, I'll just be 100% transparent. One of the main reasons I don't go like 95 South. Mm-hmm. I've had a few incidents on 95 South in a certain town, and it's just one of those things where it's just like you get. We know. I mean, it begins with an S and it ends with an X. You know. So I've always dealt, I've had a couple run-ins with them, even like when I was in my 20s, and over like the most stupidest stuff. And it's just like another thing. They asked me where I was going. I'm like, if I'm on the interstate, it's not like I'm just like just up to no good. I'm on the interstate. The interstate is going to connect me to where I need to go. And if I'm going 95 South, if I'm going 95 North and I'm in S that ends with an X, what the hell you think I'm going? You think I'm going back home. I'm going back home to Richmond. I live in Richmond, Virginia. And why am I on 95 North, the exit 23? I'm just being real. Like that type of stuff, it pisses you off because it's just like, what are you trying to do? You're trying to get a rise out of me. You're trying to get you're trying to get a rise out of me. But little do you know, I don't lose my cool like that. You were gonna turn me into an antagonist. But like Michael Jackson, I'm a lover, not a fighter. So don't do that to me. Don't put me in that predicament. Like, don't ask me stupid questions. If you know I'm on 95 North, obviously I'm headed to Richmond. Where do you think I'm going?
Right.
I'm going to Petersburg, going to Dinwiddie. Well, who cares? I'm going in the direction. Right.
I'm going the direction I'm going. Like,
right. What is suspect about me being on 95? And then even I had a situation. I was in a certain county on the line. I guess whoever listen, they know who I'm talking about. On the line, a few cities around the line, about 5-10 minutes away from the line. You can stop until you pull up. You in a city that don't have nothing going on. You the only car on the road, telling you made an illegal turn. I'm like, how in the hell do I make a legal turn? It's a straight street. Like, that has happened before. Because they try to make it say, because they said I veered off into the left lane. Really? We sit here, and we talking about me emerging to come on, man. Like literally.
So
like, and if
I was in Woodbridge.
yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm
But
sorry.
that's just one of
Get
those
it
things
out.
where it's just like it pisses you off because you sit there and you think to yourself, like,
Yo,
really, we
yo,
would sit
what's
here, what's
poppin'?
up? Yo. And you sit to yourself, all right, it's 11 o'clock at night. I'm in a country town. Ain't nothing going on. The only thing that's open is that gas station. I'm thinking to myself, oh, Lord. Like, because and that's the thing, too. That anxiety messes with you big time. And I think people don't, that's another thing, too. These are traumatic experiences. I mean, when you, like you said, I'm in this rural town. You're the only one I'm the only one, me and this person, the only one says, oh, obviously it's going to be his word versus mine. And, at that time, we didn't have the advancements in technology where we can do the Facebook Lives or even have video, good video quality on our phones. So that's when you think like, oh, man, like it's almost to a point. It's almost like, it almost felt like to a point I need to call my family and be like, I mean, that's how I really kind of felt that time. And, this may have been like 2006, 2007. It's been a while. But it's that anxiety that comes with it.
Right.
Yeah.
I was in Woodbridge. I probably was like 13, 14 years old. Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we had went to Navy housing and saw my we was chilling on one of my ex's houses. And then we went from there and we walked, from Navy housing to Occoquan Road. Yeah. So it's about probably 4 of us. So my big homies, his name is Taha. So we lived in Greenwich Hills. So really look in your neighborhood that you live in now, right? And then think about you going two streets over from your neighborhood. Because Greenwich Hills is, let's just say it looks something like your neighborhood. So all I'm doing is staying in the same area, just going to like a neighbor's house in the same area. So I'm walking by myself and Taha like, man, I'm going to come after you. So I'm walking. I feel a car pulling up on me in the neighborhood. And I turn around and it's a cop car. So he jumps out, looks around, just having genuine conversation with me. Like I said, I have a natural ability to articulate myself even at 14 years old. You know what I mean? So I'm just having conversation with him. You know what I mean? And then here come 2 more cop cars, right? And then they threw me in the car. Like this is how I am. I learned this from Taha. He a big homie. He a naturally, like he was 15, 16 years old. He was already 6'5", 6'4". You know what I mean?
Wow. So
he come up, he see 2 cars. He like, man, what's going on? I turn around, look through the back of the, from the car. I'm in the back seat. I look, man, they got 12 gauges on him. Talk about it was you. Come to find out, me and him was talking. He said he heard him talking. They had got beat up by some other dudes, like embarrassed them. One of the guys was embarrassed because one of the dudes they tried to get outdid him. So he wanted to feel better, be more confident. So he were looking for some people to deal with. So me knowing that, I'm 13, 14 years old, Taha 15. Do you know how scared I am for like Michael's, like my man Mike, his 2 sons? You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, it could be race, but all the little youngins. I'm talking about everybody.
Right.
I feel uncomfortable when they just out there just chilling, might have a hoodie on or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because they all want to, they do pick on us, but they want to pick on everybody because they profile us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Definitely us though. They definitely us. They don't look past it. They don't look past it. You know what I mean? I'll never forget that. That could have been anything. And all they did was snitch on us because we was going to my man Kenji's house. All they did was make us have to go back home. And I'm like, man, we hanging out. We ain't doing nothing wrong. You feel me?
Right. And this is something, like you said, they say they pick on pretty much the people that are misinformed. And that's why, and kind of, even though to kind of wrap it back around where, and it's funny and it's crazy. We talked about this issue, similar like with the Colin Kaepernick situation, of how I was proud of him of having the Know Your Rights camp, where he provided opportunities for people to learn how to interact with cops. That was one of the biggest things that I drew from everything that happened with Colin Kaepernick, fairly or not, or whatever. whatever people want to say about him, negatively, positively, my biggest thing that came out of that was the Know Your Rights camp. That's what they're going to do. They're going to prey on the weak because, of course, they feel as though they're the power authority. So, of course, they're going to go to somebody that don't know how to articulate, or someone that don't know how to keep their cool and keep their poise and don't look phased. That's the thing. Where, I mean, and this to go back to when we talked, as far as George Floyd, man, where it's like I said, I didn't watch it either. I looked at a glimpse of it, but it was to a point where I'm not gonna do this again because we've been down this road, and it's just like we knew how it played out, because at the point I'm not gonna watch something that I already know the outcome of it, and especially in that kind of manner when they're saying I don't want to see a man's last 11 minutes of his life. I don't, because and it's just like it just brings up everything else. It brings up previous murders, and it's just
out of all of them, one of the ones that touched me was a few years ago, where the young man, they asked him, "Do you have a gun in the car?" And he told him he got a concealed weapon. It was legal the whole night. I think he was like a nurse, and they shot him in front of his chick, in front of his daughter. And then I remember they pulled the girl out. It's a whole bunch of police officers, right? They pulled the young lady out, and the little girl is nurturing her mom, talking about, "Mommy, please be quiet. I don't want them to shoot you like daddy." And you know what I'm saying? Come on, man. And you ain't supposed to be. Come on, man. And you ain't supposed to be. Because for me, if I was anybody, I'm universal, B.
Yeah,
trust
absolutely.
me. I had we came back home, and I'm gonna be real. When we came back home, I got 2 surprise parties, and it wasn't really no black people there. And what was I called? I was called a coon, wasn't I? Right? Let's just be real. I was, right. So I'm very universal. But come on, man. I'm black, B. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Because I'm gonna tell you something. It's been times that I was with predominantly white people, and then I'll see the police do some messed up stuff towards me or something, and my white friends, they done turn blood and crit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they really wild out. And I'm like, nah, man, let's just go. You feel me? Let's just fuck this shit. You know what I'm saying? Nah, bro, let's just go. You know what I'm saying? Let's just go.
Shout out to old boy for making that comment, and then dissing my crew, calling us young old dudes. It's all good. It's all good, beloved. We still got love for you, dog. But don't block me, brother. Right. Don't block me, bro. But it's all good, man. Hey, you can unblock me, man. We can be friends. Hey, man, we in this together.
Right.
Even though you call my boy white, you call my boy that, we can squash that.
Yeah. I mean, because it should have been a comment. Really, it should have been a conversation. You know what I mean? It should have been a conversation for that.
It's emotional,
but it's all good. When you know what I'm saying, when you get that type of stuff, when you get that, you know what I'm saying? Hey, I was you get that. Like I remember I was in a crib one time, and a young lady felt like she could. My buddy Michael Clark, my Sag homie, you know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna pull up that comment. Lamar is a savage. I'll pull it up momentarily.
Okay.
I'll pull it up in a second. I'll put up Lamar's comment real quick, and then we're gonna go back to it.
Okay.
Ooh,
I see it. So profiling also, women too. But he made me forget what I was gonna say.
Lamar, it's supposed to be a PG show, man. Lamar. Let's keep it PG.
Shout out to Tunde. I seen Tunde was on here, but man, I don't help a lot. Me personally, I help everybody. I don't care, you know what I'm saying. But one of the things that I sit there and watch it and take it too, because it's their opinion, you know what I'm saying. But that could have easily been me, you know what I'm saying. If y'all love me, if you love me, respect me, you know what I'm saying, then how would you feel if that was me? You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you flat out. I know that people don't want to, even some of the people that's talking, it was times that I saw the police messing with them, and they are drunk, belligerent, and I have to go and try to calm it down because I was the more level-minded person at the time. You know what I mean? And I know it's a gift that I'm able to be able to articulate my way through things like that when some people can't. I understand that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, something's got to change. I wish, you know, and it is changing, man. Like, did you see Paris and London? And this is global.
Global. New Zealand. You know what I mean? It was beautiful. New Zealand, that was beautiful.
It was great, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And also another point too, Kira, Kira, who definitely chimed in. It's not just the police though. It's plenty of black women who have been racially profiled and followed in stores, and also saying that black indicates a threat. Period. So yeah, big time. And then Mike, definitely, I agree with him. He said he worried about his kids every time he leaves the house.
Right, man, because I remember when they was young. You know what I'm saying? Like Mike and Nikki are special because you know, Mike, you know, basically took, you know, he's a stepfather and he has a daughter too, and he stepped into that role. And but like even they adopted a kid who was named Trey. You know, Mike Patrick's his stepson, and they adopted a kid named Trey. And Trey actually, you know, was in a circumstance where he kind of saw somebody close. He was young too. Close family get shot in front of him, so they took him in. You know what I'm saying? Both of these young men are in college. They're doing the right thing, and they're at that age now. They big guys too. They're not small. They swaggy, so they automatically gonna get attention. So I'm watching them, and I'm like, you know, I remember ripping and running around these Virginia these streets around here. You know what I mean? And like, just be careful. They got level-minded parents. Like, you know, whatever y'all gonna do, why don't y'all bring it home? You know what I'm saying? Don't stay on the roads. Don't hang out. Like, we can't do that. Like, you can go to Prince George to a gas station named Circle D. All those kids out there can hang out 30 deep at the gas station. You know what I'm saying? All the teenagers and this, they can just hang out at the gas station and there's no issues. You know what I'm saying? Colonial Heights, they can hang out at the Hardee's and there's no issues. They just hanging out. They kids. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't see too many places for black kids to do that. And I'm just being honest with you. Where I live at, there's a Catholic church or a church. I wish I knew the name. And little do they know, a lot of kids that's going to the NFL that played college basketball was playing basketball there. And this is one times I know my brother had to deal with the police. He ride on his bike. They go into this church to play full court basketball. And these kids is competing. They probably slap boxing or something like that, but they was young. They shut that basketball court down, got rid of the basketball hoops and everything. Tore it all down. Now it's a handicap playground. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, man, what is the kid supposed to do if you keep taking stuff from them? You know what I mean? It's just
So let's talk about just your thoughts on just the protest and what should we do going forward?
I don't know, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I tell you one thing that is different about this. It's really sad because, like, you know, these are all young. I would say majority average age is what, mid-30s, probably teenagers, and then people in their 20s. It's really some older people out there, but there really isn't. And the difference is with this, like I was asking, like, how many churches are actually organizing? Because I think a lot of these people that's protesting don't really realize what can come with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you remember when they made the civil rights union, when back in the day when they protested and rioted, they got trained to do it. You know what I mean? Or what they knew exactly what they were looking for. I don't know if it's like that now. It's like a lot of people's just jumping out there, not really knowing what they're getting themselves into. You know what I mean? And then I was like, okay, and I could be wrong, but are there churches saying let's meet up together and let's go up there together and let's protest this? You know what I mean? Is there? I don't know. I asked a few people, they said they go to a lot of big churches in this area and they hadn't heard anything for that. So that was interesting to me. You know what I mean? It's like people just say, hey, we're going to go up there. And they're actually, like, for us, we a little bit older. I remember the LA riots and all that type of stuff. I remember the in Jersey, the Sandy Hook riots. It was remember with Super Soakers? Remember that? All right. They had just came out that summer. And It was a Club MTV tour in Sandy Hook, New Jersey, and they shot bleach in a little girl's eyes. They tore that beach up. This is right around the time they had the Rodney King riots. You know what I'm saying? Or the LA riots. So I don't know, man, but it seemed like to me they being peaceful. It seemed like some of the police chiefs are, joining in. It is still some knuckleheads. What I seen today is there is still some knuckleheads doing some knucklehead stuff, and a lot of other cops is grabbing them and say, no, don't do that, and pulling them away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of people, some people said that the army, the military are actually nicer than the police. I don't know, Bing. I don't know. I feel like some of these people, some of these people that are speaking of the government, and I think certain people that's kind of like being negative, they don't understand it. I wish that they would just come along and be more understanding and say, this is happening. It's not a joke. You know what I mean? And this do need to change. It's not a joke. And maybe I wish that those same people that protested they didn't want to wear masks, and they wanted to go to those same people. I wish they would actually protest for this. Excuse my language, bullshit. You know what I mean? I think we need them to stick up for us. You know what I mean? Because it seemed like, I'm being honest with you, we need some of them to go stick up for us, because it seemed like they get what they want, and it shouldn't be that way. But
and like you said, and it should be those ones, because you honestly, when you really sit down and you think about it, that's really the reason why the country is open again. To be honest with you, it's because of that. Because like Michigan, one of the ones who essentially was like one of the forefronts of having those marches, and they were like dead set of like, just like, look, we're not going, the state gonna be shut down for months. It wouldn't have happened. Like a few weeks later, you could go this, you can go there. Like in Texas, the whole thing with I want to get my hair done, I want to go to the hair salon, and then the lady who got arrested, she became a rebel, and she became the face of their quote unquote the movement, and I bet her business booming like crazy. And now with the protests, I don't have a problem with it, and I think LeVar Arrington articulated it very well for me. This is the funeral. This is where people grieve. So I can't be judgmental of how people grieve. This is how people protest. My thing is this: I just want this momentum to keep going, because I know this is all going to end. I don't know when, but I just want to keep the momentum going. I love what the Blackout Tuesday, what we did. That hashtag had 27.2 million hashtags. People have put up black pictures on their profile. 27.2 million. And one thing I'm really a proponent for going forward, this is a situation I think when I say this isn't going to happen overnight. This is going to probably be a generation. This is going to be probably now your daughter's generation is going to have to take on this mantra. What I'm getting ready to say. We really, really have to be strategic when it comes to voting locally. I'm not trying to tell people, and presidential, that's fine. People show out for that, but you really need to show out for your local government. You need to it starts in your own community. When you vote for certain people, you vote for mayors. Your mayor, in fact, hires the police chief. You can become instrumental in those type of places. The presidential, it's a sham, in my personal opinion. That's just like saying, that's just like watching a basketball game and the team with the lowest score wins. That's how the electoral college is for me, essentially. So I don't even want people I do encourage to vote, whatever you do, no party or whatever. But if you really, really, really want to enact change in your own, it's got to start with your community. You have to go out there and be a part of it. Be like Killer Mike said it best. You need to go and fill out that census, so they'll know where you at, so they can accumulate, so they'll know where to put the money at. You need to have relationships with your county supervisors. They're the ones who put stuff in place. They're the ones. Be familiar with those people. Throw some money. Let's get some money together, and have these people pretty much have special interests, because that's what other cultures do. They have money behind their causes. In essence, that's why you see they have what we call, and to be honest with the NRA. The NRA puts billions of money in these people, in these politicians' pockets. That's why you see these gun rules and stuff are effective, because they are putting money in these politicians' pockets for their special interests, and they're going to ride for that. So that's why I think I look at, and it's not going to be, oh, we can fix this in 5 years, 10 years. No, we can fix this within a generation. I can say, because your daughter's 13. When she's our age, I give or take. I don't want to date nobody, but when she's in her late 30s, early 40s, right around that time, I think you can see the fruits of that generation's labor. It's not gonna happen overnight. And this situation, and that's the thing too, where I understand that we want a remedy quick, but this is gonna be a generational thing. We really have to change that tone. And I think that's where it really ultimately starts. Where we put ourselves in positions where we protect our own neighborhoods, where we elect officials that have our best interests. We find police chiefs when stuff like this goes down, like what happened. Then have that type of discipline that's going forward. That is the only way, in my personal opinion, that it can happen.
It's crazy when we actually all work together. It's the greatest feeling in the world. I have growing up working in that grocery store, and I knew people had their issues for certain stuff and blah blah blah. But once we put whatever was important in front of us and we finished, it was the greatest feeling in the world. Yeah. Hurricane, like 05? No, I'm sorry, maybe 01. I remember we was the only food line open up here on store number 620 Happy Hill in Jeff Davis. Only store open, so we had so many people there. And I remember we had just a bunch of knuckleheads just doing stuff. You know what I mean? And like I was telling my dad, I was like, man, us as coworkers, we really didn't have to do anything. The community did. You know what I'm saying? Right. All they did was everybody surrounded these 3-4 dudes. The community did, white, black, Asian, everybody. Right. And then the coworkers, and all we did was everybody just kept walking forward, and pushed them all out, and they all went to their car. And you should have just seen like how overwhelming the negativity was for the positive things that we were doing. You know what I mean? It's a great feeling, but man, you got those answers. I don't. All I know is from what I look at, the stuff I look at, it's supposed to be it's going to be a lot more major changes coming. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And just to me, and kind of go back to my point where, I think we just become more educated, and it's like what we're doing, we grieving. That's just like we grieving. But what we're gonna do after we grieve, that's gonna be the biggest thing. I don't want us to go back into our ways, and then we revisit this topic end of the year, a few weeks from now. You know what I'm saying? So that's my thing, where I'm seeing where we can enact the change, and we just got to do it, man. We just got to be just more informative, just be effective. And when you see these people who say these certain things, and then they own businesses or what have you, just plaster it out, put it on social media. Ladies, hit people with they hit us up upside our head. Let's hit them in their pocketbook.
And I think that's something that hit that. Right. I think that's some things that hit with this situation. I think that's what hit people, is that people kept saying it was a lot of people that filmed the situation. Yeah. And then they were like, okay, y'all filming it, the situation. Now it's time. Y'all can't, this person just died. Why are you filming it? Y'all supposed to be over there, pushing and getting, you know what I mean? Yeah. And that made everybody, I think, I'm gonna be honest with you. And they were right. Like you saying this person, like, man, we have to, the police can police the situation, but we've got to start like really looking out for one another. Like if something ain't right, Man, you got to start saying something, young lady. Come on,
Yeah.
man. You got to start saying something. Like if you see some damn shit, you supposed to say something, bro.
But that's what they were doing. They were telling dude, get off of him. Like
off of me. Yeah, but you got to. But it's the police. Right. You ain't gonna go over there. You ain't gonna just because you don't know. Exactly. You're scared that something's gonna happen to you.
Exactly, and you know it's gonna be a cascading effect. I mean, and that's another thing where I go back to, like I was saying, man, we gotta. It starts in our own communities, man. We just gotta make sure everybody, whoever we are, we just don't want another thing to happen in Minnesota, like what's going on in Minnesota. The mantra should be, hey, we don't want to be Minnesota. We don't want to be Minnesota. And that's the thing. We have to, and I've ran this amongst friends during the course of the weekend. A lot of people say, well, you know, people are just not going to be involved and engaged, and they don't know better. Man, we all got a phone. Same phone that we recording all this stuff. We can learn this stuff. Man, that stuff, there's so much. Well, that's one thing too, where we talk about the equalizer. I talked about the equalizer is the technology. That's our equalizer. This is our power. Like the same one that we can record these things going on, we can use this. We can find who our delegates are, who our supervisors are, link up with them, talk to them, have this conversation. It's so much stuff, and I've even been witness to it. And matter of fact, and I don't know if you listen to Jerome, remember in our neighborhood on Pleasant Street, when we first moved there in the late 90s, we made that turn on left on 9 Mile Road. There was never a stop sign. Like somebody literally almost had to die for us to get a stop sign. But what happened was the community came together and we bellied up that money and we got a stoplight. Like little stuff like that. You could imagine how many people lives were saved by just having that stoplight. And that lets me know like the power of protecting your own community, being active and being engaging. And that's one thing too, where in my 20s, I was blind to it. I never knew certain stuff that was going on in my neighborhood. And then come to find out stuff was going on. And then you're blindsided and you look crazy. Cause like, why am I seeing such and certain type of people in this neighborhood? Why am I seeing like certain things that's going on in this neighborhood that look suspicious? Because guess what? We had a meeting the other day on Tuesday. We voted for a group home to be in this neighborhood. Did you show up? No. So why the hell are you complaining?
Oh, word. I got you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So people wondering, why is there like teenage kids just roaming around the neighborhood? If you would have came to the meeting on Tuesday, we voted on it. We was cool with it. You didn't show up. You could have been that voice to say, hey, I don't want that type of trouble in my neighborhood. Mm-hmm. But guess what? You didn't show up. Little stuff like that shows you how it's important to be engaged in your community, because you don't know what the hell is going on if you're not a part of it. Don't just be in your house and just live. No, you need to be around in your community.
Mm-hmm. I got you. It's a good point. You all right?
Yeah. No, man. No, I'm just you know me. Right. Yep. For that light put up there. Yep. And that's one thing too. And I was so proud of like how everybody came together for that. And I'm glad, and it's funny. I'm glad Jerome came on. Shout out to Jerome for that, because I wanted to make that example, and he know it. So that's one thing too. And that's another thing. Well, some people talk the talk and not walk the walk. But that's one thing too. And that's one thing too. And I've been very trying to get that squared away and get myself informed with that. And that's one thing too, where we gotta be, and be active and being engaged in our communities, man. That's, yeah.
That's a good point, man. I didn't even think about that, but you're right, man. That's some of the that makes a lot of sense, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't never thought about it like that, in those situations. I think, man, for me, I just, it's just hurt all around. It's a lot of emotion, pain, and feeling all that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and then like, as a, I'm just watching like the army and the police, and they're doing I guess they're doing whatever their job. But I'm like, man, y'all don't feel like fucked up by this. You know what I mean? Excuse my language, but I'm just saying it so people can understand I'm upset too. You know what I mean? Like, man, shout out to my brother, man. You know what I'm saying? He got big things going with him. And thank God that you've been in that area. You know what I'm saying? Mississippi State. We actually worked and was in that area for a very long time.
Stock Vegas. Stock Vegas.
Lived there. You know what I'm saying? It's actually a place that put a smile on our face. You know what I mean? I can't wait for him. What's the lady's name? The Asian
Mama
lady?
Jean.
The spot?
Mama Jean.
Mama Jean. Yeah, Mama Jean. I'm gonna have him say, you took a picture with her, right?
Yeah, man. Someone IG. Yeah, man.
Okay.
Stock
okay,
Vegas,
so like hopefully
baby.
I'm gonna see him to go there. But you know how terrified I am, for him to go down there. Like I'm supposed to feel comfortable that when he down there, because he ain't a bad man. He's not into stuff. That the police it's good. The police should be able to have his back. You know what I'm saying?
And being in the South like that too, because like I'm gonna be real with you. Remember that time where we were going from I don't know where we were. Yeah, we went from Starkville to so we went to Stark Vegas. From Stark Vegas to Grenada. And remember we were in the dark and like it was all wooded and we were like, oh Lord, this may not be good. I mean, I'm just being real. Like we all were like kind of apprehensive. Like, cause I mean, think about it. Because I swear, I felt like we were in some deep mess in Mississippi. Like it's 8:00 at night. We driving. Oh man. Like I hope we just don't get lost. I don't need no gas. No, man,
right.
It's real, dog.
Creepers stuff. But man. It's I really don't though. I don't have no answers, man. Like I'm in the dark with it. You know what I mean? Everybody just keep wanting to talk and then want to vote and have these. I guess that's what you got to do is have some type of dialogue.
I think so too. Yeah.
I just keep thinking these things are happening so everybody can somehow be able to see it from a different perspective. You know what I mean? Because they keep being the same things over and over and over again. You know what I mean? This young lady from Kentucky, police broke in her house and shot her or something like that. Like it's just, it's just keep being the same stuff over and over and over again. I mean, come on, man. And I know this is a sports show, so I know we actually supposed to be talking about how
we will be.
Yeah, we was talking about the necessarily how to protest and all that, but I don't know. It's just something really. It's like that stuff is a distraction. That's not important. It's like to be honest with you, what I'm getting from everything, this COVID-19 and everything, right? Is we supposed to slow down and say human race is important. Like our lives are important. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like all these other stuff are just things that are enjoyable to take up the time. You know what I mean? But look straight left and right and look at the people around you. Those people are important. So figure out a way that we could just show that we can get through things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
we can adjust to anything. We can adjust to anything. Nothing can stop us. We just keep pushing forward. I think the protest also represents that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something. Shout out to a lot of people that I didn't think would be going. I thought they would spoil brats, and that's my ignorance, and I apologize about that. But a lot of people who I didn't know would be riding the way they riding for George Floyd and the situation, and they are fighting. They getting at people. They screenshotting stuff. They sharing things, and they not backing down. And they, probably people that they've been friends with their whole life. They are like, nah, I can't mess with you. If you can't see that, you know what I mean? They just, so I'm just giving them a shout out. And I apologize for my ignorance because I just knew that you were going to go the other way. You know what I mean?
Right,
but they out there fighting that fight, B. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shout out to them.
And that's what happens when these type of things happen. A lot of people rise up to the occasion. And speaking of, we talk about rise to the occasion, I'm just really proud of these athletes. And it's funny because I'm older guy. And I look at these guys like, oh, look at my nephews, and God, look at these, these young guys, just doing their thing. Like a couple guys. So any athletes during this weekend that really stood out to you?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't really. I know Chris Long has said some things.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz said, being from North Dakota, I spent a large part of my life with people that look a lot like myself, or like him anyway. He says, so he can't say or know what the Black community necessarily goes through. So he recognized that something necessarily is going on. You know what I mean? Shannon Sharp said that enough is enough. And he said he wants Tom Brady, J.J. Watt, and Aaron Rodgers to step up and speak out. And LeBron said, why doesn't America love us?
Right.
Too.
Yeah.
And the last one was from to me, the GOAT. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Kareem Abdul-Jabbar said, racism in America is like a dust in the air. Even if you're choking on it, you let the sun in and you'll see it everywhere.
Yeah, big time.
So I thought that was really really deep.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, man, I'm proud of the guys like Malcolm Brogdon, who was out in the front lines, Jaylen Brown, the LeBron tweet, most definitely. And that's one thing too. I think people fail to realize, and that these guys are affected too. And you got to think about it. There's a couple of guys, Sterling Brown and Tablo Sabalosha, who have had interaction with the police. So this isn't a situation where it's like it won't happen to them, and they're using their platforms. And I'm just, really, especially with LeBron, I'm just so extremely proud of what he has been tweeting this week. Just this whole social activism in itself, because at the end of the day, he gets it, and that's the thing where you want to have a guy like that understands and he gets it. And he's not afraid to essentially go out there and put himself out there, which I definitely commend him for that. And Kareem, once again, like that, he just does it in such an eloquent way. Kareem is just by far like one of our gems of our community, man. And it's just how he says and breaks it down. And he's been in this fight, pretty much going on.
He needs a documentary.
Yeah,
he needs they need a good documentary. Seriously.
Big time. The two guys, and I know you touched on Shannon Sharp's take as far as wanting Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers to essentially to be the forefronts of it. I'm really proud of the two of the guys I think who are going to be the face of the NFL going forward. Trevor Lawrence, who I would assume would be the 2021 number 1 overall pick, barring anything catastrophic. He said this, and I quote, there has to be a shift in a way of thinking. Rational must outweigh irrational. Justice must outweigh injustice. Love must outweigh hate. If you put yourself in someone else's shoes and you don't like how it feels, then there we go. Then things need to change. And that's my thing with Trevor Lawrence, a guy who is in essentially in college, a guy who was going to be the face of the league going forward, I think, saying those type of comments and being in college. And it's so eloquently for a guy who can say that at 21, 22 years old, but his coach is pretty much tone deaf to it all. Not tone deaf, but he said certain things that it kind of rubbed me the wrong way with Dabo. And also another guy, Joe Burrow. That's another guy who, we the number 1 pick, the Cincinnati Bengals quarterback. And I think these would be the two guys, as I mentioned. He said this: the Black community needs our help. They have been unheard for far too long. Open your ears, listen, and speak. This isn't politics. This is human rights. Right. And those two tweets, I think, from those two guys, it gives me hope. And like I said, as an older guy who, want to, see the league flourish, these are going to be the guys who I think are going to be the face of the NFL as far as the quarterback concerned going to the next generation. And for them to kind of have those type of takes, it gives me hope of maybe this thing could get turned around. As far as with the league, those guys being, having those type of statements. I was a lot of people. I was disappointed, but I'm really not. Like this thing that happened with our guy James Dolan, and I mean Jim Dolan, and I mean he just said stuff without saying anything, and it's just one of those things where it's like this is one of those things where it's blatant, it's right versus wrong. It's not like this is like literally the first time. This is the first time essentially I haven't heard anybody say, well, what did he do? But I didn't see the whole tape. There was no excuse made. What did he do?
Right.
This was the first time I really was like, wow, like people are really sitting here and realizing that this is real. No one is doing a rebuttal. No one is saying, hey, well, he had to do something to be in that, or, do we see the whole tape? No, this literally was right. It was somebody doing something wrong. This is a classic case. This is a 9/11. What I call what was the 9/11 buzzword? You see something, you say something. This is how it was, where it was like you knew it was wrong. Everybody knew it was wrong. And like no one can deny it. No one can sit there and say, well, or make some type of concession. I think even in previous transgressions, we can't say that. But it not trips me out, but it's just one of those things where it's just like you're like, like you get it. You get it that this is wrong, and you're speaking out that something that is wrong. That you're doing something what a 2-year-old child would say. That doesn't even have a fully developed brain knows what happened was wrong. A 2-year-old doesn't even have to question this. They can barely, they can probably say he can't breathe and tell somebody to stop. A 2-year-old can tell you that. A 2-year-old can barely talk
and like
tell you to say stop.
Being black and have to explain it to your kids is a trip.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a trip, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like my daughter 13, man, you know what I'm saying? Like I was a lot of stuff happened when I was her age too, and I seen it, you know what I mean? But you would think by now that a lot of stuff would change, but you gotta have those conversations with her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Have to, you know what I mean? You have to let her know, like, so like, for instance, your boy got fired, I heard, the one that said that LeBron probably wrote the N-word on his house.
Jason Whitlock, yes, he's gone. Yes.
Deuces.
Jason Whitlock is gone. It shocked me. It was funny because it's crazy. So yesterday, I watched it, right? So then all of a sudden I go on Twitter, right? And then Jason Whitlock, it was like around about 6:30. This man was like the number one trending topic in America. I was like, oh God, like something's wrong with him. Something must have happened. And I was like, oh, phew, he just got fired, man. I thought something was
right. Ooh, he just got fired. Wow.
No, because I'm just saying because I swear I've ever since what happened with Kobe, man. I swear, whenever I see an athlete that's a trending topic, pardon me, my stomach drops. I'm not gonna front. I just be like, oh God, what didn't happen? Because for him to be the number one trending topic is like, oh God, like something bad.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I seen that, I was like, wow. Then they said he got big plans where he leaving, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I thought because he was so, I'm thinking to myself, like, I didn't think that would happen, because it seemed like he just, like, it almost made me feel like he either was free and he could do whatever he want, or he was doing exactly what they asked him to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, man,
it's weird. Yeah, I'm gonna miss him and Marcellus dynamic. It's funny because he makes Marcellus look like he has sense. So I don't know if he's gonna be teamed up with somebody who makes sense. How that's gonna work out?
Chris Carter.
Nah, Chris Carter gone. He shoot. What I was ready to say. Who got to say? Jamel Hill got a better chance going back to ESPN before. Damn, Chris Carter come back to damn Fox. Like, nah. Jamel Hill and Michael Smith would be on ESPN at 6:00 before damn Chris Carter come back to Fox. It's a wrap.
Right. But I know you had what we needed to look up and stuff, and I did it at the last minute. I'm not gonna lie, because I really hadn't watched. Like when this happened, I did not want to hear a bunch of debating. I did not debating, but I didn't hear people talk about it. I didn't want to hear that. I didn't.
Yeah.
Another person died. I did not want to hear Shannon skip. I didn't want to hear. I did not.
Yeah.
I didn't want to hear Stephen A. Smith. This is I didn't want to hear that, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, if anything, I wanted to hear somebody like even Killer Mike when he spoke. I didn't want to hear him. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Some of it was moving to me, but man, I didn't want to hear him. You know what I mean? I really wanted to hear somebody who was relatable, who hardly talked. Like I was happy to, I didn't hear the whole thing, but I was happy to hear Steven Jackson speak because he know him. You know what I'm saying? So that was to me, this seemed, it wasn't a show. That's why I didn't want to see somebody who's gonna put up there that's just gonna try to give us a show and calm us down. You know what I mean?
Oh, like your boy T.I. This Wakanda, homie. Bruh, when I seen that Friday night, I was like, oh, I gotta go to bed. This is it. Like
because I'm gonna be honest with you, no disrespect. If anybody watching this is from the ATL or whatever, I was looking like I'm not trying to. My dad laughed at me. I said, man, I ain't trying to hear them talk or try to calm stuff down. They ain't even found out who killed all those kids from 79 to 82.
Right.
I'm being honest with you. You know what I'm saying? This is all we got. This is our city. Like, man, it's still the black cloud above your city that needs to be taken care of. That people that made millions and millions and millions of dollars making movies and documentaries. And I'm looking at these mothers, and they still have. I don't want to hear that, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'd rather, I'd rather see DC Young Fly up there and speak. You know what I'm saying? Than that. I'm just being honest with you. That's just me, though.
Yeah,
I just wanted somebody who in there who really understood what necessarily was going on. I didn't want anybody politically talking. And it's weird because, like I said, I seen a couple, like my dad said, he's seen a couple pastors speak from a computer standpoint. You haven't really seen anybody on the forefront with the protesters speaking. Now, that's just me. I'm not saying there's nobody's out there, but even some of the people I discussed, they haven't said, oh yeah, this church is going down, this pastor's going down there. You know what I mean? Oh, this church is going to go down and give some water to anything. You know what I mean? Which is still make me feel a little unease. You know what I mean? A lot of time, churches, what they would do is they'd go, you know what I mean? Because in the daytime, bro, the protesting is different. It's at night where it get kind of wild. You know what I mean? Those are completely different people that's coming at night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They are. They have a whole nother agenda.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But anyway.
But yeah, man. It was. Yeah, and I try to stay away from. Of course, I this is one of the things where I was like, you know what, I'm gonna talk about it. We had a final say on it. But so one thing that was really interesting to me. Definitely. Kiara said that the pastors congregated in DC earlier today. So, well, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
cool. And that's great because I didn't. I swear to you, I hadn't heard anything.
Yeah, and one thing that I was on social media before I had my little mini panic attack about Jason Whitlock. I call it my Twitter anxiety attacks. So there was a lot of people that was posting not meme, but more so of pretty much saying, hey, you want to hear a boycott? Let all the D1 players pretty much go HBCUs.
Yeah, and they should.
And I thought about it too, because you look at most of these coaches are. Like, I mean, the only really coach, a couple guys like PJ Fleck from Minnesota did, very eloquently express his feelings. James Franklin, I heard him actually a riot, not a riot, but I shouldn't say that. Yeah, a protest in Ann Arbor. And that's like you saying, you really sit down and you think to yourself, are these coaches really for you? Because you think about it, especially if you in them SEC schools and you in them deep South schools, man, you can fall prey and fall victim to these type of situations. And do you got a coach like that that's gonna have your back? And it's one of the things where it's like, I'm not saying that that's a high take, but it's just something that you shouldn't ignore, like as far as the boycotting of that, because you got to sit there and you think to yourself, these guys back, because they can, like I just said earlier, they could be in this predicament. As a coach can have their back, and they're gonna turn a blind eye, because these same guys, you go to their house and you convince their mother and father to to pretty much, hey, this kid, I'm going to take this kid on as my child. He's going to be my son, my reflection, one of my children. He could be in my house and he can do his dance moves and he could do this and he can, I don't know what teenagers do nowadays as far as dancing. He got Nick Saban can be in people's, he could be in people, he could be in people's living room and dancing, and rocking George with them, acting like, hey, they friends. But when it really comes down to the crux of it, do you essentially have my back? I know you want, you want that because you want to win. You want to win your football games. You want to win your foot. You want to get these titles. You want to get these state-of-the-art facilities. But do you really have my back? Right. Because remember, you taking me from wherever I'm a part of the country, and you putting me in Alabama, I'm not public enemy, but I am a big fish in a crazy in a crazy pool, essentially.
Right. If you play for Alabama, you're a dude that's coming and play for Alabama, man, you probably get away with a lot of stuff because the way they football crazy. You know what I mean? For real.
But sometimes it just depends. It depends too. It can go either way. It can go either way because even though your boy didn't go to Alabama, but your boy, the third string quarterback for the Saints, he got us suffering a little trouble in Alabama once upon a time. Jameis, shout out to Jameis, fresh back surgery and doing his thing, but and
that's what, you make the team, you make the organization, you make the coach. You know what I'm saying? And just to piggyback, I would say as you was talking, I remember the story. Supposed to be a story about LeBron, his first high school coach that he played for. He said y'all playing like a bunch of N-words. I think he got fired for that. I think he got fired for that, but then he got hired at Akron University.
And he's still there. I didn't even know that.
Right.
That's crazy.
That's the thing. They use that celebrity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's really what you're saying. Like, okay, you want to win this and that, but are you really going to have my back? You know what I mean? So having my back is not just, you got to understand the situations that's going the subject we're really talking about. When I'm out there and these people are you going to protect me?
Right.
Are you going to, you know what I'm saying? Are you going to understand me mentally? Right. And these guys are not just my friends that you think are thugs. These are the dudes that when I ain't have no food, they gave me food. So if something happens, you know what I mean? Or if somebody died or they mother, I want to be there for them because they were there for me when I didn't have anything. And a lot of dudes that are athletes, that play football, basketball, they're like that. When people who knew that they were special and said, man, I'm going to give you this support so you can get through this, so you can get to the league and you can make something for yourself. You know what I mean? Not because I want you to give me something. It's because I know in this neighborhood, it's a bunch of negative and looking down. There's a lot of low vibration stuff going on. It could be higher vibration, but it's a lot of stuff that can bring a person down, lock you in. You know what I mean? So when you go to those coaches, when you saying you're going to have my back, I believe that's a part of it. It ain't just, you know what I mean? When the media beat me up or this and that, I want you, what's my man that, what was the, he ended up being the Saints coach. He used to be the coach for the Giants that won the Super Bowl. Not the second time, but the first time in the 80s.
Oh, Parcells.
Bill Parcells. Are you remember the running back they used to? Who was the running back? Huh? No. Who was the running back for the Saints?
Reggie Bush? You talking about when? What era?
No, not Reggie Bush. I can't. Remember when wasn't he a coach for the Saints?
Who? Bill Parcells?
Yeah.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't the coach. Yeah.
What team was it? Was it Miami?
Well, Jimmy John. No, you ain't talking about Jimmy.
No. I'm tricking. Mike Dicker. Mike Dicker when he was.
Yeah, Mike Dicker.
He was the coach for the
Ricky Williams.
Ricky Williams was so mentally gone in another place, talented as hell. But Mike Dicker understood him for some reason. He always, and he's a certain type of guy, but he never was negative about my man. He was never. Remember, he wanted to take off from football and this and that because he was mentally. I think a lot of that has to go with it too. There's a lot of mental issues and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely huge shout out to Mike Dicker. Definitely huge shout out to Mike Dicker for giving us that 2000 first round pick for Ricky Williams in '99. Appreciate it. We ended up getting Chris Samuels in that deal. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, Mike Dicker. That was a hell of a steal. We found that something out of a trade. But yeah, man.
Definitely y'all gonna get Ricky Williams? Y'all gonna get Ricky Williams?
Nah, we just had to pick, and we just traded out. You didn't
want Ricky Williams?
No, because we were straight. Because we had we had Stephen Davis. We had Terry Allen and Stephen Davis at the time, so we were straight.
Oh, okay.
I thought initially, we were good though, because I think that year we won. Did we win the division? But I don't know. Yeah, we won the division the year before. But
having a person's back, or when you're a talent or you're a rookie and you see the talent, it's more than. It's a lot. Like, that's why I said Phil Jackson is the best coach. This is the greatest coach of all time. Nobody wanted to leave Phil. Understand this. You can say Bill Parcells all you want to. No one wanted to leave Phil. Everybody wanted to be with Phil. You know what I mean? And I think he just had a knack of helping you mentally and support. You know what I mean? So I think that's very important.
Absolutely.
I think that's very important.
And another thing that we touch on, because I know we talked about as far as athletes that are, that was really active in the protests, just as far as social media and what have you. But quiet is kept. And we also talked about the Division I athletes going to, to ACBUs. But there's been two boycotts in S that has really helped big time. I think about the situation in 2015 with the University of Missouri. They had a guy, I think he was a part of their student council, and he was, pretty much calling for the firing of the president and the head chancellor and this and third. He went on what they call like a hunger strike. And essentially the football team was like, look, y'all got to get rid of this man or else we're not going to play. Guess what happened? Guess who got fired? That president got fired because of that. Because that's one thing too, where you look at those type of examples, really boycott and voting, I think, are two essential things. Because really ultimately boils down to money. And then another boycott, I think in essence, that went against us, was Adrian Peterson. So Adrian Peterson, I don't know if you remember, and it's funny, we talked about this, matter of fact, that was like the first year of the radio show. So Adrian 14, he had a situation where you remember he had the allegedly child abuse situation happen. And I remember we were going back and forth, and like everybody at that time was like, should Adrian Peterson get suspended? Blase, blase, blase. So we were like, well, Minnesota probably not going to, they're not going to suspend him because he's so valuable. So at that time, when, because, when they do press conferences, they have like backdrops. And usually most teams have backdrops and they have a certain logo. And you would think generally whoever has that logo for that, for that backdrop, it's probably one of the major sponsors. So at that time, they had Radisson. Radisson, of course, the hotel chain. All of a sudden, Radisson got heat. Then all of a sudden, you're hearing these stories like, well, Radisson might pull from the Vikings. And then I guarantee you, it couldn't have been no more than like 24 hours. How this man Adrian Peterson was on the exempt list, like that quick and instant. It's and all this is really all about money. I say that to say that that's another thing where athletes can kind of impose their power as well. When you have these type of situations where certain brands or what have you, and they tie themselves to certain corporate values that you don't like, you can, that's another thing where it's really those things where you can enact those changes. But yeah, man, they did that quick, fast, in a hurry.
Right. I'm sorry, but as you said the Radisson, I started thinking about I had some really good time at the Radisson on West Gray Street.
Yikes.
You know, I'm sitting here like, shout out to Collie. You know what I mean? He had me and him had a few. Anyway, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My fact, it went Collie, my bad. But my bad. Just, you know, I thought I'd throw that out there. But yeah, man. So do you think they need to boycott something to necessarily get a lot of the point across of some of the stuff that's going on?
I think probably the most effective way probably is Division I athletes pulling out of these schools. I think that's the only thing that I've seen that would I think conceivably make sense, because that's when you think of like all of it really. And I think college is weird. Like even with this whole thing with the pandemic going on, like colleges are just in such a pickle. And it's just like this is the best time to shake everything up. That's the NCAA. I wouldn't say they're going to the ground, but they digging themselves at least about a 6-inch grave. It ain't 6 feet, maybe about 6 to 8 inch grave. But they keep going further and further. They're slowly digging their grave, and I think that's where you can kind of there's like I would call it a chink in the armor in the NCAA. Everything that's going on, like these guys are now getting, going to certain professional leagues, especially basketball. Football ain't there quite yet, but like you said, with they said they migrate to those ACBUs, and then in essence we pull that money in, and that's what it really also boils down to. Yeah, if they could do the ACBU thing, but are we willing? Not saying we, but far as alums, are they gonna give these guys these type of facilities like they would at Alabama? Are we gonna be able to? Will we be willing to put our money into these facilities where we can compete for those type of D1 type of facilities, where that's really what it also boils down to is the money? Because it's say that because but if you can build a Clemson at Grambling or Virginia State or Norfolk State, hell yeah, go. That's what separates D1 and ACBUs, essentially, because football is football. Football is football. It's both of those facilities, like you and you eloquently said it. Like you said, when you say your brother went to Clemson, how it's night and day between Clemson and Tennessee.
In Tennessee, right?
Tennessee used to be in our generation was like, oh, that's a premier school.
Right.
Like when you see, because I remember a guy that went to Howland Springs, and I seen him get an offer letter from Tennessee. I was like, "What? It's like 1998. Dog, you can have a potential to go to Tennessee. Like that's like Clemson now. Like if a kid was if a kid was going to Clemson in 2020, it's like, damn, he going to Clemson. That's how in the 90s. That's how Tennessee was, and like you said, how it was like night and day. Yeah, man.
Right. I remember that too. That Tennessee was that spot.
Yeah, Tennessee.
Yeah,
man.
Peyton
Manning, Peerless Price.
When he it was so cool to hear him say that. Like he paid attention to it. He was like, man, it's like night and day, man. Like, blah blah blah. So yeah, I get you. It's just that the alums gonna have to really have to put some money out.
They can have to cough it up.
You know what I mean? They go to a nuts and especially, but it can happen. When you got, especially if you mess around and get a talent like think about if they'd have got a Zion.
Yeah.
And then getting a player like that, all what happen is that it'll elevate everybody. Because everybody's gonna it'll elevate everybody's stock. You know what I mean? To play harder. Like think about it, man. Like when LeBron had went, how everybody's stock rise. You know what I'm saying? They played against him in high school. They played for those other schools. You know what I mean? Some people might even had a chance to see them. Get a chance to see them. Like a lot of college might not even knew who they were. But yeah, man. I mean, do you don't still think it would be though? Because like the other schools, Oh my God, here this dude go.
No.
Right, just ignore it, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I think I see. Do you think they will still be able to compete with NCAA,
I
like
mean,
with like Duke and some of those bigger schools? Even if some of the best players or all the African American players decide or black players decide to go to the ACBUs, whatever. Do
yeah.
you
I
think
mean,
those other schools still make it?
oh yeah, they'll still make it. It'll probably be the traditional way, where
Mm-hmm.
guys you're not going to get, in essence, those one and done guys. You'll probably get guys like the old fashioned way. You'll get guys who'll develop, who'll be be there as freshmen and they'll graduate and play. They'll probably play there for
Mm-hmm.
4 years. I still think NCAA is going to be fine, like basketball wise, because you can.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy thing about those type of teams. They're the ones who make the deep runs in the tournament. The ones who have that what I call have eons of experience, good guard play, and senior leaderships. And that's versus the neophytes and the one and done guys. They're just the flash in the pan. They really don't do too well in the tournament. So if you can develop those guys, and that's what really college coaches really want to do. I think in essence,
Right.
which you can learn, you can develop these guys, and yeah, the Akron Zips. Hey man, they all right though. They decent.
Look, man.
But
What's the Cleveland University team name? I don't even know, but all of them from the east side. All the girls are from the east side. They're your cousins.
but yeah, man. So yeah, man. I think they think what it really is. It really boils down to facilities. If these guys can get facilities, Cleveland State. Yeah, Cleveland State. I remember Cleveland State.
Oh yeah, Cleveland State. Yeah. They give great concerts. That's all I know about Cleveland State. They give great. But anyway, don't let Bear try to distract us. He's trying to be a part of something now.
Well, yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Remember, we're a family show, so next week you can't say the N-word, dog.
Oh yeah. Right.
If you do it, yeah. I shouldn't even put that up, but
yeah,
next time,
you are who you are.
You're right.
Everybody think you the nice one, but you the one. You're like, somebody shot me, Chris. Way.
Right. And yeah.
But it's all good.
I thought it was funny. It was more so for that, but yeah, we know that's out of angst. But yeah, man, let's put on this week's Couch Coach Live, man. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts, man. Like I said, I was emotional in the beginning of the week because I had some personal stuff, and I was listening to Luther. But then, man, I'm really into the verses. That IG Lives verses, and they had Fred Hammond and Kurt Franklin, and it was good, man. Like they end up having like Marvin Sapp came in there. It's gospel music, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't a big gospel music guy, but it was Sunday and it was perfect. You know what I'm saying? So Marvin Sapp song, but the lady from Meet the is it Meet the Browns? Oh, I think that's the name of the show. Tamala something.
Was it? Now I'm gonna say Tamala Brown. Tamala.
I don't know, but she done lost weight and she done lost weight and she looking good and she looked fun size to me. You know what I mean? But man, she hit that "Take Me to the King," bro. I was in this joint tired, laying on the floor, tearing up, bro. Like because Sunday was bad, bro. Like I'm just saying, Sunday was bad. The attacking and you seeing people try to justify everything and try to make sense because they just don't want to believe that it's happening. That just was hitting me, man. So I just went and hid, and so man, my thing is, man, just try to spread love as best as you can.
Yeah,
man. You know
what
I mean? Real. And, for the people that's out there, just be safe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Most definitely, man. Great show, man. It was a great show. Yeah, man. Like you said, stay positive. Stay positive. That's all you can say. And just live every day, day by day. Don't live with no regrets, man. Social media.
And even for the people who don't understand, you know what I'm saying? Like, still love y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. Sometimes you can't really, you'll see yourself, but I remember y'all. I party with y'all. I did that. I remember y'all. You know what I'm saying? I remember the stuff y'all went through, and I had to try to make shit a little bit better for you. You know what I mean? So I still got a lot of love for you, but my social media is Deshaun Morgan, Facebook, and DT Morgan 78 Instagram.
Nice,
you know what I mean? But if you want to be touched, man, like watch that Fred Hammond and Kurt Franklin, or that you can watch all the verses, but that Fred Hammond and Kurt Franklin really hit something.
Yeah.
You know, when I heard her sing that song, and Erykah Badu and Jill Scott, if you just want to calm your spirit.
Yeah.
Burn some sage.
Yeah. So don't forget to follow the show. Pretty much anywhere social media, Couch Coach Live, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Also check out the podcast audio version on Apple Podcast, Spotify, anywhere that you get podcasts. You want to catch the replay of the visual, Facebook Live, Couch Coach Live. We might try to do it on IGTV. We try to see if we can split it down the middle. And then YouTube Couch Coach Live, and also couchcoachlive.com. Yeah, man. So, yeah, man. For any other final words, brother?
No, that's it, man. Good week, good show. This is cool.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, this is, and I love
this is a different, but
and it's interactive.
It almost make you feel like it have a like when we first started type of feel to it. Like it almost make us feel when we went to Comcast, it has that energy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Remember when we went to Comcast those 2 times? It has that energy. Like I think something about the pop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
man. So for Maui, this is Coach, man. This has been Couch Coach Live, man. We'll catch you guys next week.
You're welcome.
Yeah.